What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Ango Show Live. Today, we're going to talk about WWE NXT, and I decided to bring in Billy Davis from the Rap Report.
Yo, what is up, guys?
Billy, you've been on the channel before, but I want to bring you back. I want to do something a little bit different. Thought it would be kind of fun to talk about WWE NXT tonight.
Absolutely.
Man, what a show.
That was a
Another
good one.
episode. It was good. There were some things I liked. There were some things I disliked. We're going to talk about it. Guys, we're going to be pulling up your super chats directly on the stream. So if you guys want to support the channel, make sure you guys go ahead and drop a super chat. Billy is no stranger to the content creator game. He talks about rap news and hip hop stuff and pop culture stuff. And,
Yes, sir.
I feel like NXT, it was enjoyable to watch. But I specifically wanted Billy to join in on the stream because Billy is not somebody who watches NXT every single week. He is not consistently watching it. And I felt like maybe this would be the right time to have a conversation with somebody who might not be as avid of a watcher. He watches pro wrestling. He watches Raw, SmackDown, AEW. But NXT specifically, it's not always in the cards. So, Billy, just overall, before we get to the nitty gritty, like overall impression of the show tonight, what'd you think?
So there were a lot of things that I liked. Number one, seeing some recognizable faces like Braun Breaker, obviously Baron Corbin being on there. Ilya Dragunov, he's outstanding. Obviously, seeing all these guys' work. But the show overall, I was actually a really big fan of. I love the ending, obviously, which I can imagine we'll talk about later on. The ending was outstanding. I'm starting to see, and even just watching like right down to the nitty gritty of it, there's continuity within NXT playing into the main roster as well, which to me, I find that interesting, right? For somebody who doesn't watch very often, I find it interesting and I find it fun, right?
Yeah.
You could see the fun in NXT. So overall, I thought it was a good show.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, let's talk about that main event, right? Like,
Yeah.
dude, I don't know what it is about Bronson Reed. I'm a huge fan of Bronson Reed, right?
Yeah.
And yesterday on my Raw review, I was talking a little bit about Bronson Reed and Ivar, and I was just kind of like, I felt like they could give so much more. And the one thing I truly loved about that match was actually not the match itself. It was the fact that they had this really good post-match thing. And dude, I popped so hard when I was watching NXT tonight because I was able to see that. Like, they
Yeah.
brought Ivar in because I was trying to think, like, how the hell is Bronson Reed going to lose this fatal four-way match, especially against three guys who, no offense to Johnny Gargano, Wesley, and Cameron Grimes, but they are much smaller individuals
Right, exactly.
compared to Bronson Reed.
It's kind of hard to go in and be like, oh yeah, like Bronson Reed's gonna lose this match to these guys. I get it.
Dude, I love the fact that Bronson Reed got attacked by Ivar, and I don't know
It
why.
makes
Maybe it
sense.
just my brain wasn't even considering that, bro. It wasn't even freaking considering it. So the fact that Ivar came in and basically took him out, I there is not a company, in wrestling. People could debate all the hell they want about booking and this and that. But the Triple H and Shawn Michaels era of pro wrestling has the most continuity on a week-to-week basis, and tonight continues that trend.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was absolutely outstanding. Again, playing into Ivar, right? From obviously the match on Raw was a little wishy-washy. So there were some really high spots and really low spots. But to do this tonight made that match last night with Bronson Reed and Ivar seem that much better, if that makes any sense.
Yes, I agree with that. And it's so weird, man, because like when I was watching this main event, I was just like, I felt like the show was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think people will ever hear me really complain about NXT booking because in the past year, and Billy, I know you don't watch it a lot, but they do this shit all the time. Like the continuity aspect for NXT every single week, hands down, they are the most consistent brand that WWE offers because everything from beginning to end has some sort of meaning. And it's not like it's not like when you watch the show, it's not like things that happen in the middle of the show don't matter, right? Sometimes with Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, there might be things happening on the show where it's like, what the fuck? Like it's random, you know?
It happens a lot.
NXT doesn't have that problem. Now, I will say this though.
Okay.
Because we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the huge scandal. I see the chat. Guys, I see you. I can pull your comments and super chats up on the screen while we're streaming. We're going to talk about it. But there's one thing I hate about NXT. And it's something I said last year. It's something I said 6 months ago. And it's something I'm saying today. And I honestly will not change my mind on this.
Okay.
NXT booking, the most consistently good booking that there is.
Yeah, you praise it a lot.
Very, very logical, very reasonable. They're always putting the right people over. My problem that I have with NXT comes down to, and I know it's developmental, but some of these backstage segments that I'm seeing are just still a little too much Disney Channel-esque.
So it's almost like a little corny.
It is, and it's not the good kind of corny. And I'm not saying this, I don't want people to think that like I'm being a dickhead, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be a dickhead here. I love Roxanne Perez.
That's exactly who I was about to bring up.
I love Roxanne Perez. I love JC Jane. I love Thea Hale. I love Jakara Jackson. I love Lash Legend. I love all of these people. They do not have that level of experience where I think this is kind of, let me like word this the right way. They don't have that level of experience where I think they should be just reading off a script. What I would recommend for WWE to do is try to implement these backstage segments where they're just naturally talking to each other. Sometimes it sounds like people are reading too much off the script. And that's the only thing I hate about NXT. It is literally the only thing, because Roxanne Perez, by the way, like I genuinely believe this. I think she is going to go down eventually one day as a WWE Hall of Famer. Like I see her ceiling being that high. Fantastic in-ring worker, charisma. Like she's everything that WWE wants. She's going to do very, very well in the WWE. I don't even think her promos are bad. Like that's the thing. I don't even think it's the delivery of these promos. My issue with NXT is the fact that people are cutting these promos and they just seem so forced. It almost seems like they're really, really trying hard to force these promos when naturally the more relatable that these promos could be, it's going to be more relatable when somebody's actually having like a genuine conversation, right? So when they're backstage and they're in the locker room and they're about to beat each other's ass, like every single week, there's always something going down on NXT like that. It don't gotta be it doesn't have to look so manufactured, if that makes sense. And that's kind of how I felt about tonight's huge scandal, where like the storyline's freaking awesome. It's fun. I don't care. People hate the wackiness, craziness. Yeah. I tell them to piss off. Mm-hmm. It's okay to laugh sometimes.
100%.
But sometimes I'm looking at these segments and I'm like, it's just scripted a little too much.
I'm not going to lie. So I watched, obviously, again, not a regular watcher to NXT, but coming in and watching Roxanne Perez in that backstage segment, I'm not going to lie. I looked and I was like, that felt a little off, right? There was the one with Andre Chase that I liked. I thought that was very DX-esque. If you go back to like the 90s where Shawn Michaels standing up on the podium, you know, talking about the network and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think about that and I was like, oh, this is good. You know what I mean? But I definitely see what you mean. That is like you said, Disney Channel. I'd agree with that one heavy, just off the mere reason, like you're trying too hard. You don't have to try that hard, especially being professionals, because at the end of the day, that's what they are.
And I think the funny thing about that, when you bring that up, it's like, if you look at NXT right now, and because again, the booking and everything is so good, the matches are, I know there's people on Twitter right now, they're tweeting their heads off about how they don't watch NXT. But if you actually like good wrestling matches, we got several good ones tonight,
man,
which is like a consistent trend. I think that's the thing that's kind of off-putting though, is like, you know, the huge scandal, right? Mm-hmm. Who knows what the fuck is actually happening, Billy? Who knows? I have no idea. I swear to God, like it's one of these things. They've been doing it every single week. Now Andre Chase comes out.
That's what I was going to ask. You know, how long has this been going on? Number one, and number two, who is behind it? Is there any guesses?
So that's the thing, right? Everything's a slow burn.
Yeah.
Today was kind of like the first time where the scandal is like actually coming to light. Because for a few weeks now, it's been like, what's the scandal? There's
Yeah.
rumors of scandal. Now the scandal comes to light and they got some gambling debts or something like that. But it's funny because I'm like, bro, this shit is so like, it's not even cringy, right? Like
No.
it's kind of funny. It's kind of like a joke to me.
I got a kick out of it.
But here's the thing, like that's what Chase University is.
Mm-hmm.
Chase University to me is a comedy act.
Yeah.
Ever since JC Jane became part of like this whole storyline,
Yep.
I'm thinking like, okay, well, is she the reason why they're having this scandal? Is Duke Hudson the reason why they're having this scandal?
Because he looked at him while he was
yes,
standing in the back.
as soon as he said that, he was in debt, bro.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, okay, does Duke have something to do with it?
He got
That's
something
what
to do with it, bro. He has to.
That's what
This
I'm
dude,
saying.
but here's the thing, bro. I sort of got because you don't watch NXT like this on a weekly basis.
No.
So the thing is with Duke Hudson, it's like anytime something is going on with this group,
Yeah.
with Chase University, Duke Hudson's like the first person that everybody immediately points their fingers to.
Well, because it's kind of hard not to, right? He's the guy next to him. You know what I mean? So when you think about wrestling as a whole and you think about like storylines and stuff like that, it's always the guy behind him, right? Even looking at Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes,
Yeah.
right? It's always the guy behind that you always got to kind of keep your eye on.
We're going to talk a little bit about that too because it's really good. But I want to
Yeah.
throw up this comment I just saw from Richard Martinez. Richard says Duke did have a poker gimmick before joining Chase. I wonder if he is on the scandal. Richard, thank you for bringing this up because I almost forgot that atrocity. I was trying to at least forget about it. You just reminded me.
He had a poker
But I think that seals the deal right there. And it's funny because Andre Chase University, like I said, it's like a joke at this point. Like it's definitely one of those things where to me it's a comedy gimmick, bro. And I like comedy gimmicks.
I can appreciate it because they are, they're important to have every so often.
Yeah, man, it can't always be serious and shit. The cool thing is they're good at wrestling. So Duke Hudson's good. Andre Chase is good. I sort of I don't know why my mind was blanking after I literally just said his name. Andre Chase is good. Thea Hale is great. Even JC Jane's great. The thing is, I swear it goes back to the segments sometimes.
It does.
I feel like sometimes these segments are just a little too forced, and I don't know why it's off-putting to me.
So
and
I
thought
that was forced.
You felt like bro. I feel like it all the time. Yeah, really? Bro. Because here's the thing. Like, okay, like maybe this is a terrible example. I'm trying not to give a terrible example here, but we watch sports, bro.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a scandal in sports, it's like no comment.
Yeah.
And they just like walk the hell out. Now, the thing is, I was kind of hoping they would do that with Andre Chase because Andre Chase, first of all,
flip something off the podium or something like that.
He always goes nuts, bro. He'd be dropping F-bombs and shit and they'd be blurring it out or whatever. Yeah. So like, I thought for sure that would be a really dope.
I just really feel like Shawn Michaels went back to that segment many years ago and thought about that. And that's what they came up with. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. That's what I think it was.
The best was the image that they used. I'm trying to see if I could throw this up on the screen really quick. Okay. Let me see if I could figure this out. Because good golly gosh, did they
had some they had some stuff going on in that segment, dude.
Bro, look at this. Look, this shit was so funny. I love this image. I don't know. It might mess with the stream for like 2 seconds, but I just don't care. I gotta show you guys.
All right, bring it on.
I think I got it right here. I laughed at this, bro. This right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes.
I swear to God, when I seen this shit, I just started to crack up because I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
Well, it looks like he just had the roughest day ever.
Well, yeah, he had the roughest day, but the scandal is rocking Andre Chase University. Dude, but like this is the type of stuff that I love about NXT. Like, again, it's just some segments come off a little too forced, and this one just came off a little too overly scripted. And that's like the one thing I really want NXT to change because I understand people are inexperienced.
Yeah.
So WWE, I mean, they even do it on the main roster where people are fucking CM Punk coming back after 10 years and they still give him a script, But if they can just slightly just let people talk organically,
Let them
like
be
me and you are
themselves.
doing right now. We're having a genuine conversation talking about
100%.
WWE NXT.
No script in front of us.
I just figure it would have been so much better if Andre Chase was sitting at the podium and they ask him about the thing and he goes, I unfortunately at this time, no comment or just some bullshit.
And just walk off and continue it on. I think that okay. Yeah, I see it.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. But so now the question is, where do they go from here? Because he's answered the questions.
Well, we got to figure out who did it.
Yeah.
Who's behind it. He said something. He wouldn't even tell us how much money it was. So they're in extreme debts. That piece of shit. He's like, yeah, we're guilty, but I'm not going to tell you how much.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. You would appreciate this because you're an audio head like me.
Uh-huh.
They have like the NXT level up microphone. They have the NXT microphone, and then on the right, Billy, what microphone do they have? I'll give you $1 million trillion if you tell me what microphone they had.
Is it a very popular microphone?
Very popular USB microphone.
Is it
USB? It caught my eye right. It was a Blue Yeti.
Oh my god!
They had it pointing towards them. I'm like, oh, this is somebody at the PC was like, all right, let me go grab somebody's streaming gear from Twitch or some shit.
Yeah, just out of their bag or something like that.
I seen it. I just started laughing a little bit because I'm like, what the hell?
I wasn't even paying attention to that.
It was so unserious, bro. So unserious. Just overall interesting scandal though, and I think one thing that's interesting is like there's a lot of developing character arc for Thea Hale and JC Jane, and like they've been doing a lot of that stuff on a week-to-week basis.
Okay.
I feel like right now with NXT, whatever the scandal leads to, and I guess that's probably my big thing is like, what the hell does a scandal lead to?
That's what I was wondering. The whole time I was like, where is this going? What does it lead to? What's the end result?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this, though. Every week that I watch NXT, I ask that question to myself all the time. I'm like,
okay, so that's worrisome.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not worrisome because it could go anywhere. Okay. It's just, it's not as clear. It's not in clear sight as much as I'd hope.
Right.
But that's up to them to deliver something really good and shocking and crazy. But they tend to do that a lot with Chase University segments. And it's like,
well, I kind of feel like they seem like the type that you can kind of test things with. Is that weird to say?
No, it's with comedy gimmicks. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like you can just test things, test endings, stuff like that. That's what I think you get out of it.
It was interesting.
It was.
It was interesting, man, because Chase University is like, it's popular. I'll tell you this much, though, and this might give me a lot of heat tonight on the live stream, but I don't think Chase University succeeds on the main roster.
I don't either. Watching them, I don't think either.
It reminds me too much of Leo Kruger back in the day in NXT. Leo Kruger turned out to be Adam Rose.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah. So it was like NXT gimmick that like really, really blew up, and then
like the
Adam Rose went to the main.
Shit.
Yeah, bunnies. Braun Strowman dressed up in a costume.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a disaster waiting to happen on the main roster. That sucks to say, but it does. I think Andre Chase on his own would do really well. I do.
My opinions are never on the personal aspect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's never on the individual, because that's one thing about NXT that I love is like all these people are actually really talented. It's sometimes it's not even fair calling them developmental because of how good they are. But when I see Andre Chase, since he's been in WWE, he's always just been this comedic character.
Right.
I remember when he was on the indie scene, and it's gonna kill me that I cannot remember his first name. It was something Bravo. And actually, no, I'm just gonna look it up because it's gonna piss me off that I won't think about it. Okay. Andre Chase. It was something Bravo. Where is it? Harlem. Oh, not Bravo. Harlem Bravado. I was trying to say. I was like, I know the name. I was very close. I was trying to think about it, but like I remember him on the indie scene. Same thing with Christian Casanova, who you don't even know who that is, which is good thing.
No.
Well, it's not a good thing. You should know, but
Yeah.
Christian Casanova is Carmelo Hayes.
Whoa.
So during COVID, he had an outdoor match. I think it was for Beyond Wrestling. That's how I came across him.
Really?
Yeah, and then
When
they signed.
When
That
did
was like
did he sign 2021?
2020, I think, like late
2020.
2020, something like that.
It was like the summer of 2020 because he was in the class with Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I mean they all kind of like came in
Yeah. Okay.
around the same time. But it was funny because I remember Harlem Bravado,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I feel like when I seen him become Chase University,
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like there's some potential there.
Yeah.
But now the only thing is like I see like his whole character's like perception's reality, you know. So like
Yeah.
pretty much my perception is he's always going to be a comedy character.
100%.
That doesn't mean it won't change,
Right. That's
you
what
know.
I'm saying.
But I look at him doing backstage segments with, you know, Otis and Tozawa and New Day and
Just like what we've seen at Survivor Series with R-Truth coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think people get like really pissed off when I talk about stuff like that. But like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with being a comedy character. It just sucks because I know these guys are all talented.
Right.
Definitely looking at the comments, guys. Best comments, best super chats. You know, they're all coming up on the screen, so bring them on. Cedric Gilmer dropped something. Cedric is a member on the channel, so if you guys aren't a member on the channel, you could become one starting at $1 a month. Cedric Gilmer says Lexus King versus Carmelo Hayes at NXT Deadline. Billy, let me ask you about this, bro.
Okay.
Brian Pillman Jr.
He's amazing. In NXT, he's so much better.
Don't bullshit me, bro. You genuinely believe that?
I do because okay, so what was it? Him and Griff Garrison, their tag team. It was the
it was one of
Varsity
the
Blondes. Yeah,
yeah.
They had that gimmick over in AEW. Blah blah blah. It was fine and dandy, but again, he was just not to come on here and shit on AEW, but they were a tag team that number one, you didn't put a focus on. So they got lost in the mix. Then Pillman has that segment or the whole thing with MJF, and that was cool, right? It was nice to see him get a little bit of light at the time.
Yeah.
And then he gets, again, not trying to shit on him, but he gets lost in the shuffle, right? He gets lost in the fold. So I watched a lot of the vignettes on Twitter of him coming into NXT and instantly was intrigued, right? Because I feel like that's the most important thing about wrestling, right? Is you need to find a way for me to be intrigued in some kind of way to this person, right?
Yeah.
And it felt like instantly, you know, as soon as he started talking about his dad and separating himself from his dad.
Yeah.
Sadly for me, I think it put a little bit more light on him to compare him to his dad. With him saying, "Oh, I'm going to separate myself," instead of, you know, that whole thing. It's like it's tough. Like you could have stood from that. Like, you know, if you really wanted to separate the two. But either way,
Billy, hold on. Not to cut you off.
Yeah,
but you said this dude was amazing.
Yeah.
So how the frick is he amazing? That's what I want to know.
Okay, so I think the character work is amazing. Let me take it back a step from the amazing part. And say that the character work, I think the character development is amazing from what I've seen before.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, in AEW, it was not what I don't think you were getting the full potential out of him. And I feel like here you're going to develop him to get that full potential out of this Lexus King character.
Yeah. So I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I don't think he's amazing.
Okay.
I love Lexus King. I don't think he's amazing. I don't feel like they have tapped into it. However, I will say this. I genuinely mean this too.
Okay.
I might be saying shit that gets me heat. I'm just being honest.
Mm-hmm.
WWE in a matter of a month has already made Lexus King far more valuable than he was ever in AEW.
100%.
The problem with AEW was they barely used him. So it's not like they had to do too much, right?
Right.
But the thing is, when I look at Lexus King, and it's kind of like what I was saying earlier about the over scripting or like the over like forced nature of scripts in NXT.
Do you think that was forced?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. I can't tell. I can't
Oh,
tell just yet because
okay.
it's not like in AEW he was cutting promos all the time.
No.
But sometimes, especially when I look at his character, I feel like they need to go for a more natural approach because unlike the IWC, I love the fact that this dude changed up his hair. I
Yeah.
like the fact that he
The
changed up.
beard.
Bro, he got that barber using
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It
They
looks
painting
good.
that shit in, making it look dark as hell.
Yeah. It looks good.
And I think he's doing a good job at getting heat.
Okay.
I think he's in a very interesting storyline because
You're playing into Trick Williams and you're playing into Carmelo Hayes.
so that's another thing too, right? It's always these who did it
Right.
storylines,
Yeah.
right?
You can
Who's
kind of tell in
who's the
NXT.
devil
Right.
in AEW? Who is the one that is attacking Trick Williams, right?
Yeah.
Today we find out that it's him, but it's interesting because when WWE NXT shows this anonymous footage of Lexus King going to attack him from
Mhm.
October 17th or whatever it
Yep.
was,
Yep.
they show him texting somebody. Then, and this is one of those things I fucking love about NXT because again, continuity is a big thing on my channel.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I care about in wrestling, really, because storylines they might hit or miss to the like to this to the community, but like
Yeah.
for me, don't make me get to the point where it's like, oh, there's not a storyline to follow. Because if there's
Right.
not something to follow, if there's nothing to like keep me watching on a week to week basis, I'm gonna just turn that shit off and go watch Pistons and something
Right.
else. So
Yeah.
so with the Lexus King thing, and that's why I'm so glad Cedric brought this up on the in the chat. But like there was a moment where Trick Williams goes backstage and he's talking to Carmelo.
Hmm.
And I popped for this because Trick is like, oh, like I know it was him. I can't believe it. I should have
Yeah.
known. Yada yada yada. He didn't do. He's like, oh, we're gonna get him back because he has that match with Brooks Jensen.
Yeah.
And Carmelo Hayes is like talking about like how he's trying to get him back, and Trick Williams is like, nah, man, I got my eye on the
Yeah.
prize.
You're right. Exactly. I got something more to focus on.
So this is like one of those things where it's like, damn, we found out it's Lexus King,
Hmm.
but that's not even like the end of it.
Right. Because there's more now to it.
So much more.
Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, they're just a good duo. Like
They are, but it to me, it's inevitable. They're splitting.
and
That
that's
that
what I mean.
reaction,
I think those two, whether you have them together or they're facing each other, one of the whatever it is, I just think you can kind of tell that there's what's the word that I'm looking for? There's a connection there
yeah,
that
they
they
got
could do a lot of
chemistry.
chemistry. Thank you.
So yeah, it's I like it. I asked what you thought about Lexus King because obviously you watched AEW as well.
Yeah.
I'm almost curious as to what his ceiling is with this particular character
Yeah.
because the name change doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? A name is just a name in
Right.
WWE.
Right.
I'm curious if they ever want to go back to kind of like that varsity blondes gimmick that he had. He had it in AEW, bro,
Yeah.
with the varsity jacket. I'm curious if WWE would ever entertain that.
So I think with that, that's kind of tough call. You know what I mean? Just because it has happened, he did it over there and it couldn't get over there. I mean, you could
No,
try
he
and
didn't get over not because of his own accord. People got to
right.
remember that. You people, I won't let you guys slander Lexus King. Brian Pillman Jr. Listen, this is an issue in AEW. We're gonna just fucking talk about it right now.
All right, bring it on.
There is an issue in AEW that WWE doesn't have. AEW would put somebody on TV, never put them on TV again, and then they would put them on Dark or Dark Elevation or whatever. Then 3-4 months later, they utilize them for one night, and you can't get over that way.
No, yeah.
Do you know why I talk about continuity so much?
Why?
Billy, we talked about Ivar and Bronson Reed today.
Yep.
Okay. We're supposed to take Ivar serious as a singles competitor, right?
Now we are. Yeah.
We're trying to.
Yeah.
We know Eric is out with an injury. It's just Valhalla and Ivar.
Right.
So when Ivar comes into NXT and attacks Bronson Reed, that's continuity.
Mm-hmm.
That continuity tells me, oh, I should be taking this serious because they're following up on it.
Right. Right.
But you know what? If they don't do it and they don't follow up on this type of stuff, you know what happens? I'm not bought in. I'm
Right,
not
exactly.
intrigued. I'm
I
not
lose
invested
interest.
because there's
Yeah,
no continuity. So
right.
how can I be invested? And nobody ever seems to answer this question. I put it out on Twitter, whatever. But how can I be invested in Brian Pillman Jr. in AEW when he's not on there every single week? How can I be invested in Andrade, Miro, Scorpio Sky, Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs?
It's
And
impossible.
it's impossible because you are not giving me week to week content every single week. And
Right.
the thing is, you don't need a match every single week. You don't need a backstage segment every week. You can do just fine with a video package, a 25-second video package that lets me know that they're still alive and whatever happened the previous week, it's still in my mind. It's a reminder. It's a constant feed of reminding you, hey, this person matters to us.
That's one thing I noticed watching tonight. I'm sorry,
No,
if
you're
you were
good. You're good.
continuing. That's one thing I noticed about NXT tonight is that, like, I felt like I would step away from the TV,
Yeah.
like maybe during a commercial, right?
Yeah.
And I'd come back and the commercial would be over and they'd be playing a video package.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, so I gotta rewind this, figure out exactly what this video package was,
Yeah.
who was it for? You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing I agree with you on. AEW definitely does lack that in a sense.
Yeah.
You could give these; they don't need TV time.
Yeah.
Give them the little vignette, like you said, 25 seconds, and you're good, and you move
Yeah.
on to the match that you have coming up.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
And it's just, and that's why, like, I bring up like Lexus King versus Carmelo Hayes at Deadline. It could be a fun match, but I want to kind of shift gears a little bit. Richard Martinez said Trick versus Melo will be Melo's last feud in NXT before he gets called up. And I'm curious if this is the direction that they choose to go, which, by the way, I don't think that's going to happen at Deadline, which we're going to talk about Deadline in a minute. But when it comes to Trick versus Melo, I think that could be more towards like WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Stand and deliver.
Mm-hmm.
But if we get Lexus King versus Carmelo Hayes, there has to be a reason why Lexus King goes over. Because here's the thing, if Carmelo's going to do the job at Trick at some point, he cannot do the job. He can't take 2 back-to-back losses before getting called up to the main roster. So at the same time, you cannot have Lexus King lose. Like, Lexus King won. He won tonight, and he looked great.
Mm-hmm.
They got the thing going with Carmelo. I'm intrigued.
Right.
If you want to really catapult this guy to success, they have to, no matter what, they have to have him get some big wins. A big win against Carmelo is huge, but Carmelo losing twice in a row, I feel like that's kind of damaging.
It hurts.
And the reason why I bring that up is because I look at Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe, and I know you don't typically watch New Japan. You're not that kind of wrestling fan, which is why I want to bring you in on this specific show.
Yeah.
It's the perfect time to talk about it. Carl Fredericks became Eddie Thorpe in NXT, and he's amazing, but it's not like he's done anything memorable. He hasn't had like these massive programs, right?
Right.
He had a great match with Braun Breaker.
That's okay. Yeah.
But like, he lost to Braun Breaker. He's not going to the Iron Survivor Challenge.
Right.
I don't want Lexus King to suffer the same fate. Does that make sense?
That 100% makes sense.
So they got to figure out a way for NXT Deadline to have this marquee match, have Lexus King go over, and Carmelo Hayes.
While also kind of protecting Hayes.
Carmelo. They got to protect him in a certain way.
Right.
And that's why I actually have a very strong feeling that there's going to be a massive switch up, because a lot of people believe Carmelo Hayes will be turning heel. A lot of people believe it.
And now we're thinking a little bit different and thinking that maybe
I think it's going to be
heel.
Trick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's going to be Trick. And I actually think this entire time, he never actually got attacked.
That's okay. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
We saw the footage of him running through the door.
Right.
Did we see the footage of him beating the hell out of Trick Williams?
No.
In that particular video.
No. That's what, okay. So that ran through my head. I was like, okay, was there ever really this attack that happened? Like, I questioned it, right? Just from the backstage segment that they had and what they said and how they interacted with one another,
Yeah.
it made me question it a little bit.
It's just interesting to me.
It
I'm
is.
very curious to see how they go about it, to be
Mhm.
honest, because it's one of those things where I think we've gotten to a point where they got to be careful with how they book. And this is something that WWE and AEW is doing a lot this year.
Yeah.
They're booking matches where guys don't necessarily look good by losing. And that actually kind of reminded me of Johnny Gargano tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell it is, bro. You know, bro, you were watching Black and Gold all the time. You saw Johnny Gargano, the dude's over. He goes to NXT 2.0, still over, goes to the
Right.
main roster. And it's like something's not connecting. And the NXT audience isn't always the best audience to look at to gauge
Right.
like
But
whether these
even on
guys
the
will be
main
successful.
roster, you know, you can tell there's a little bit of a struggle. Last night with DIY and stuff like that, it was like like, what are we doing? You know, those guys in Black and Gold, you know what I mean? They were top of the food chain.
Yeah.
You know, they defined the Black and Gold era of whatchamacallit. Excuse me. NXT Black and Gold. So I just wonder, you know? I wonder what their plan is.
Oh, I get it. And that's why
Yeah.
I'm concerned about it in a sense.
Yeah.
Because Johnny Gargano taking the loss. Cameron Grimes, where the hell has Cameron Grimes been?
That's what I
Like,
was wondering. I haven't seen him on SmackDown, nothing.
like he ain't really doing much.
So we're just gonna throw him in a match in NXT.
No, the purpose of the match makes sense because it was
Uh-huh.
supposed to be for former North American champions.
Okay.
That's fine. But like that's the thing I was talking about, like in wrestling though. Right now, if there's a gripe that I have, it's like there's people who literally get booked in matches where maybe they
Right.
shouldn't be in those matches.
Right.
It's difficult at times to like be a fan of that type of stuff, you know.
I agree. Yeah.
That's just like my personal opinion about it. But you know, that fatal 4-way match was sick.
It was,
And
dude. The match itself was amazing.
you know what other match was sick though? And I really want to talk about this one.
Bring it on.
Ilya Dragunov versus
Yep.
Nathan Fraser.
Yep.
Dude.
I don't know much about Nathan Fraser. I don't. I've seen a couple of his matches. But I'll tell you what, that guy can wrestle. He's very good at wrestling.
Chat. Where's the chat? Chat. Let me pull up the chat. Chat.
Yeah, pull him up.
I need your guys' help because I am going to go crazy. I'm going to literally lose my mind. What was Nathan Fraser's name in AEW? What the hell was his name? It is going to kill me.
He was in AEW?
Oh, buddy.
Was he on Dark?
No, buddy.
Stop lying.
Bro, it was something Ben something. It's going to kill me, bro. Albert Ponce, I love you.
Albert.
Ben Carter.
Ben Carter. What did he do?
Dude, he was he was trained by Seth Rollins.
Okay. Good person to have.
He goes to AEW and he just has badass matches. I don't know how to explain it.
Like there was no like storyline or anything with him. Like,
dude, at that point, it was during like the COVID era. It was like
okay. All right. Yeah. There was a lot of people coming in and out of the company at that time.
Just overall badass. He wasn't in there like for a long time.
Okay. All right.
It was just he was in there. He was getting like a little tiny like rub, honestly. It actually kind of seemed like he was getting a big rub, but he was having bangers.
I was about to say, so I'll tell you what, that match with Ilya Dragunov tonight, impressive.
It's so crazy because I see some people are talking about it in the chat, which is actually all true.
Mm-hmm.
David Decker says Kiana James was in AEW, which is true. So was Fallon Henley. Cora Jade was actually in GCW, then went to AEW as Elena Black.
Oh,
so these are all things that like I knew about.
Yeah.
But obviously it's funny because now you look at it, you're like, WWE gave these guys characters, and WWE gave these guys.
I was gonna say.
And it kind of goes to show you why
the character work matters.
It does, right? And obviously that's why you could test things out in NXT.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, you know, you told me his name, Ben Carter, and then Cora Jade being there and whatnot. Like I had no idea.
Cora Jade is always an interesting one to me because Cora Jade she's young And
Yeah.
I think when I seen her in GCW, I want to say she was like 18 or 19 years old. So when she was in GCW, she was doing like all the crazy matches and shit.
Oh, was she
Yeah, she was
trying to get
doing.
her name out there?
Her gimmick was like this like black magic, like witchcraft type of thing.
Oh, jeez.
But it goes to show you it's 2023, and that shit reminds me of like it's crazy thinking back to that because it really wasn't that long ago.
Right.
But pandemic and
Man,
all
it
this
felt
other
like
shit
life
happened in
went
life.
so fast.
Yeah, everything just kind of
Yeah.
it's interesting. What else is interesting? Richard Martinez just made a really good point, kind of following along with what we're saying. But he said the new NXT format requires a wrestler to have a character and personality, and then the in-ring elevates you.
I'm starting to see that.
You see that all the time in NXT, but
Yeah.
that's the reality is like you have to have the character and personality, and then if you really want to get over, the in-ring stuff does actually elevate you. And it's
that's the WWE way.
But even in WWE, where like maybe in-ring stuff isn't always important, you get Ilya Dragunov and Nathan Fraser having a match, which, I mean, just nasty, crazy shit.
Yep.
The finish is amazing. The crowd goes nuts. The internet loves it. But why? Because these guys got characters. There's a purpose for it.
Right.
So actually, Richard Martinez, very, very good comment right there, because I definitely
100%.
agree.
Mhm.
Just in general, some very interesting stuff there.
So I have a question for you, actually.
Yeah, hit me.
So are we gonna get Ilya versus Baron Corbin at Deadline?
Yeah, so I think that's the route that they're gonna go.
That's what I was thinking.
If there is one little complaint that I have about NXT right now, it's that they haven't really announced much for Deadline.
And it's not far away, is it?
I want to say it's either this weekend or next weekend.
Oh, yeah, so it's close.
Next weekend. Not this weekend, it's the following weekend.
Okay.
But like I think they literally just announced Corbin and Ilya. Like I think that was literally just today.
Oh.
But it's interesting to see that not as many matches. The storylines are there.
Yeah.
Whatever's happening with Carmelo, Trick, Lexus King,
it's all
whatever's there. It's all there. So it's not like that's not a big deal. NXT continues the trend with like 5 or 6 matches on the card. They got some stuff obviously brewing in the women's division. They're doing some stuff with Ariana Grace. So whatever they end up announcing is not a big deal. But that is one gripe that I thought, okay, for this particular pay-per-view, they didn't announce as much in advance.
Right.
Which I would have preferred.
Other pay-per-views. Yeah. Understandable.
Let me ask you though, when it comes to Baron Corbin, because you obviously remember the storyline with him and Roman Reigns 2019.
Yeah.
You've seen Baron Corbin, bro. Happy Corbin.
All these
different
broke
things.
Corbin. Yeah.
What do you think of his presentation right now in NXT? Because I do have something to say about that.
More serious. And I think I watched an interview of him talking about how he needed to kind of step away and get his face off of SmackDown and Raw because it was becoming too dry of a character, and he kept switching up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my overall thoughts on Baron Corbin are, I think it's a more serious character now. I feel like if he were to come up, maybe not right now, but if he comes back and when he comes back to the main roster, people are, it's not the lone wolf. It's not Happy Corbin, nothing like that. I think you're going to get a much better version of Baron Corbin.
So when we talk about like promos being a little bit too scripted, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think his comes across more natural?
Yeah.
I want people to, when I talk about more natural sounding promos, Baron Corbin's a great example of something I noticed.
He did it in his, it looked like his house tonight, at least.
It looked like he was in a bar or in a house or something like that. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, like a wine cooler or whatever.
But like that's the type of stuff I like. I like when it's a little bit more natural. And it was cool because you get this great match, right? Nathan Fraser said something about Baron Corbin and
it set Ilya off.
It set Ilya off or whatever. It was like something about family, or it was about Ilya's family or something.
Yeah,
life being better than the other one or whatever. And it was funny because when they had that whole segment go down, that set up the match. Cool. That's the purpose of the match. Ilya Dragunov is a fighting champion.
Yep.
And on top of that, don't talk about his family.
Yep.
You would expect that from a European man.
Right.
They have this match. Great match. He does the H bomb, I think is what he calls it, where he goes, the forearm, diving forearm thing.
Mm-hmm.
He does it the first time. He gets back up right away. Does it again. Gets back up. He hits it 3 times. He drops him. Gets the win. Doesn't damage Nathan Fraser at all. Not a big deal. But he gets the win. Baron Corbin comes up on the screen. And when he comes up on the screen, that to me seemed like, and it sucks because I love Corbin. And it's like, this might be the most I've ever loved Corbin.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly.
Right. Yeah, that's steep.
But I love Ilya Dragunov, and I feel like this is going to be such a shitty ass match to try to book. Not a shitty match. Let me make this. Not a shitty match. It's going to be a shitty match for them to book because the decision that they make either way will be shitty because I'm a fan of both of them. Yeah. So I don't think there's a real way for them to really, really make me happy because I really don't want to see Baron Corbin lose.
Yeah,
I really don't want to see Ilya Dragunov lose. Yeah. And then I kind of don't want them to do a double count out or a double DQ.
Don't do a mess up finish or anything like that.
But also, I'm at the point too where I'm gonna just be completely honest. I feel like Ilya Dragunov should actually drop the belt.
What do you think? Why?
I know it sounds crazy because I just said all that stuff about.
Yeah, I was about to say why.
I want him on the main roster, bro.
I figured, that's kind of what I figured it was.
I want him on the main roster.
He needs to be up there.
I think Baron Corbin's doing great in NXT. It would be good for a veteran to hold the belt. He can hold the belt, do some great things there. And
can I make a comment about Ilya actually going up? I think it's going to be a Gunther type thing with Ilya going up.
Explain.
Just very serious. You know what I mean? I think people are going to be forced to take him serious kind of right away, if that makes any sense. I don't think he's going to be one of those guys that gets lost in the shuffle. I eventually think he'll be maybe a United States champion, a Intercontinental champion later down the line.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's he's going to be like a pro wrestler on the main roster for sure. Yeah. I did want to turn our attention to some super chats really quick. Albert Ponce dropped one for $2. He says, "Is Cora injured? She has been gone for months."
But she's been on Twitter talking shit.
Yeah, she good on the social media stuff. Here's the thing, right? I don't even want to talk about this. Albert, I feel bad, bro, because it's a super chat. But from my understanding, she had to have a what do they call it? A operation. Sorry, Billy's phone is messing up.
I had a whole thing going on over there.
Nice, dude. You back? You good?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're good. Okay, cool. Yeah, she had an operation. As you guys can tell, you guys could read the chat. According to the streets are saying that she had an operation, and she's just taking time to heal.
What kind of operation did she have?
Well, Billy, maybe you should just read the chat.
I can't see the chat. Actually,
well, buddy, just an operation.
Just an operation.
Nothing. We're all about good health and good wealth on this channel.
Yeah,
nothing to be concerned about.
Okay, all right. That's fair.
I don't know why I'm tiptoeing around it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Cora Jade's awesome. That's what the streets are saying. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if she confirmed it herself, but nonetheless, Albert Ponce, appreciate the $2 super chat. Justin Kennington gifted a 1 membership on the channel. I don't know who got it. Does this say who gets them? Jeff, congratulations. You're now a member on the channel. Thanks to Justin Kennington.
That's cool.
So shout out to Justin Kennington for the gifted sub. Guys, if you want to support the channel, you could become a member. It's definitely appreciated, or you could drop a super chat. Super chats go directly to the growth of the channel overall. They're always appreciated. You never have to do them. But if you choose to, it's always appreciated. So thank you. Let's go and just you guys, I'm reading the chat. You're killing me right now. Finally, a serious comment. Thank you. David Decker says, Ango, question. Who do you believe Carmelo's first feud should be on the main roster?
That's a good question.
Billy, I'm gonna let you answer first.
On the main roster?
Yeah, your thing is frozen, so I'm gonna just switch to mine really
Yeah.
quick, and then
Yeah.
while you fix that, go ahead and answer though.
So me personally, I believe that his first feud is it. So number one, I think he should go to SmackDown, right?
Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, I do. I think SmackDown could use him, but
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
also I think if you want to maybe take him serious, you know what I mean? Maybe you could throw him in a feud. You have to ask the question: is he coming in as a heel or a babyface? But if he comes in as a heel, I think you could put him up against a guy like LA Knight.
Good thing you don't book.
I know.
Good thing you don't book, buddy.
Talking a lot of shit. Why is that?
Because why do you want LA Knight to lose?
To lose?
Well, who you're gonna put Carmelo Hayes in his first feud to win? Or you're not
Yeah,
gonna put him to lose.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I'm not a booker here. Not a booker.
Good thing, buddy.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just giving you shit, bro.
I know.
Just gotta have a little bit of fun. But
Yeah.
Your pick is LA Knight, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think.
You're a good man. You did not go back on your word. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not changing up. Yeah, no, I do. I believe that you could get a good feud out of that.
I will tell you, I do agree in terms of promos back and forth. That would be very enjoyable.
I think you'd get a great feud out of that.
I would have zero problem with him feuding with like Grayson Waller or Theory as well.
Okay, those are two good options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple different options.
Right.
David, to answer your question, I think for the first feud, realistically, it's got to be somebody that can eat the pinfall. Theory can eat the pinfall. I don't care about Theory winning anything at this point, but I don't want Grayson Waller to lose. So maybe I'd have him feud with Theory and have him go over. That's just maybe my opinion, but we'll see. Who knows? We'll keep taking a look at the comments.
There's definitely interesting people that you could have him feud with.
Interesting. Justin Kennington says, I think Carmelo's first feud should be Shinsuke.
Whoa.
And that's a $2 super chat. So shout out to Justin for the super chat.
See, this is where I disagree.
Yeah, unfortunately, Justin, I disagree too. And it's not because Shinsuke and Carmelo's feud would be like good or bad. I don't know. It would be an interesting.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I cut you off momentarily?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I think that you're putting Shinsuke in too many positions to lose.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
He's probably going to lose to Cody. You know what I mean?
That's my thing is Cody can't lose right now.
Yeah. I do think Carmelo goes to SmackDown, but just based on the fact that we got a super chat about it being Shinsuke, Justin, maybe instead of Shinsuke Nakamura, maybe you could put Carmelo Hayes in a feud with somebody on Raw, like Gable, or like you can do. Actually, I wouldn't even say Chad Gable because honestly, Chad Gable's kind of like in the realm of going up for the IC title.
I mean, the comfortable answer is The Miz.
So, and that's what I was going to say. It has to be a veteran that can lose. This is where WWE screwed up by getting rid of Dolph Ziggler, right? Because Dolph Ziggler could just lose to every NXT call-up.
He was the guy.
I would say, though, I wouldn't be mad at him versus The Miz because, first of all, The Miz is actually getting good. Like, he's always been good at wrestling, but he's definitely, like, turning it up a little bit in terms of wrestling. He's fantastic on the mic. Carmelo Hayes can go over him. One thing I think that would be very interesting, though, if he did go on to Raw, it would be whether or not he goes standalone or maybe if WWE decides to bring him and Trick Williams up together because they do have that chemistry. Now, obviously, if that's the case, everything I said earlier about him turning heel or Trick turning heel, that all has to go out the window. But I do kind of see them being more like if they were together, I could see a lot of success. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Justin did drop another super chat for $2. I think Braun should be the one to dethrone Gunther. Billy, can I ask you a question?
Bring it on.
And I'm being like dead serious too.
Yeah, go ahead.
What would your thoughts be if Brock Lesnar dethroned Gunther?
The honest answer is I'd be upset.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a playback to the person who dethrones Gunther is, I mean, somebody who's eventually going to need it.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. And I'm just being honest here.
Okay.
What if Braun Breaker were to dethrone Brock Lesnar for a championship belt that Brock Lesnar has never won the Intercontinental Championship.
Right.
So what if Brock dethroned Gunther
And then
Braun Breaker dethroned Brock Lesnar?
that would be huge.
It would be pretty impactful.
Yeah. That would
for
be
Braun
yeah.
Breaker.
Yeah, it would. But I think no matter what way you do it, because of Gunther's reign right now, I think no matter what way you do it, right?
Yeah.
It feels important, right? So if Braun Breaker dethrones Gunther right now, it feels like that would be a huge deal. Like, I get the magnitude of Brock Lesnar, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also getting the magnitude of this reign right now. This reign feels important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like no matter what way you do it, you can't lose, at least in that scenario.
Yeah.
You know?
Justin, thank you for the super chat. Just want to throw this up really quick. Anthony Oderwald said, would be interesting twist for Ludwig Kaiser to dethrone Gunther with Imperium breakup. I don't know if I'm sold on Imperium breaking up. Clearly, WWE has shown us that they like Ludwig Kaiser. I think he would be very, very successful as a singles guy. I would have zero issue with him going singles. My preference would always be for Imperium to stay together, but I just want to throw this comment out there. It's not something I necessarily would absolutely love, but I don't have an actual issue with this. I also don't have an issue with Chad Gable dethroning Gunther. I don't have an issue with Bronson Reed dethroning Gunther. And at the stage of with Ivar and how great he's been doing, I wouldn't mind him even dethroning Gunther. I just want to see something big. And I think no matter what, whoever beats Gunther at this point, it's going to be very impactful. Not on the same level as Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns has been holding that belt for 10 million years. But Gunther is the longest reigning IC champion. So I wouldn't be mad if he drops the belt to anybody really at this stage of the game. But I want to throw that up there. We did get another super chat from Richard Martinez for $2. He says, I still believe Sheamus dethrones Gunther at Mania. And I actually, this has nothing to do with NXT, by the way, but we answer all super chats on my live streams. But I would go as far as saying Sheamus is also another name, which
That's a good option.
I also believe Sheamus has never won the IC title. I could be wrong.
No, he hasn't, because that was the whole thing at
WrestleMania.
No, Clash at the Castle.
No, yes, Clash at the Castle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the whole thing.
Yeah. So that's you cannot go wrong with any of these. It's really cool though. I will say this. It is really cool when you look at NXT and we are not even at WrestleMania time, but we are already looking at potential guys from NXT who can take the belt off Gunther. Like, that's how good WWE's development is. Like, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes could dethrone Gunther. You can make an argument for a lot of people in NXT to get called up and take that belt from him. I don't think it's going to be an NXT call up, but obviously Justin kind of mentioned it earlier with the idea of potentially maybe, just maybe, Braun Breaker. So
I like the idea of it.
Very interesting. Richard Martinez, thank you for the super chat. We'll keep things moving. I want to talk a little bit about some other stuff that happened on NXT tonight. We didn't talk about this incredible tag team match. Tony D'Angelo and Stax, the family, versus Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo.
That's one that I watched all of. And I I glued to the TV for that one.
I love these guys, bro.
I love Tony D'Angelo.
I love them too much. I love all four members of this match.
Yeah.
Obviously, the family retained their belts.
Yep.
I think that's it for Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. Yeah, I think that's it for them in NXT. I think they are
main roster bound.
Santos Escobar's boys. I think
no way.
I think that's happening.
Really?
Yeah. I
mean, whoa, that's good stuff.
They're gonna fit perfectly in that role.
Yeah, especially with the other two on SmackDown.
LWO's got this beautiful storyline going on, and then I can't wait to talk about it for Friday's live stream.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like what they're doing with Carlito and Santos Escobar and Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio and all these guys, Del
just good
Toro
stuff.
Cruz. And yeah, it's gotten to the point where I think there's a lot of intrigue there. I think they want to, first of all, you can tell when you watch these guys. You can tell when you watch these guys in NXT. They came to NXT, they got re-energized and like rejuvenated and just basically became far better than they ever were on the main roster.
Yeah,
But they're not winning big. They're not winning big matches. The reason why they're not winning big matches is they don't need to. They're not staying. They're not sticking around.
Right. They're eventually going back up.
I think that happens maybe even as soon as Friday.
Really? You think it's that soon?
They lost. I think I don't see them sticking around very long.
No way. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's actually kind of a big deal then.
We'll see. Who knows?
Right.
Very interesting stuff there. I really want to talk about this too. Carson Nathan says, Ango, who was the masked people backstage in NXT? Billy, did you notice this?
I can't say 100% that I did. I went back on Twitter and I was able to notice a little bit. I have no idea.
Yeah, you don't know who they are?
No, I have no idea.
Guys, my friends, this is what I call continuity every single week from WWE. The two people, they're not masked. They are face painted, and it's Boa and Dante Chen. Both of those gentlemen were introduced in WWE before for NXT. They haven't really been given massive stories or anything like that. But it was a very, very awesome thing that they've been doing each week. Just a couple of weeks ago, Boa was seen backstage talking to Dante Chen. Now he's every week they've kind of been doing that. This week, both of them are in the face paint, walking behind people during a backstage segment. So I think what they're trying to do is that they're going to be a tag team and they're being repackaged. For those who don't remember Boa, and I want to say this was 2021 or 2020, and it's going to piss me off because I can never remember her name. Her name on the indies was Karen Q. But let me just Google this. Let me just make sure I'm not like butchering this shit because it's going to bother me. Yeah, okay, I'm right. Karen Q.
Karen Q.
Karen Q is also known as Wendy Chu.
Oh.
Yes.
Was that the
Remember Mi Ying, I think is how it was pronounced. Mei Ying. Mia. Mei Ying. Do you remember when she came in? Let me find another image. Let me find it.
Hold on.
Dude, I'm not like a wrestling historian, but the fact I remember this is crazy because WWE, just so much shit has happened.
That's what I was going to say. It's been so long.
Bro, I fucking loved this shit. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I literally do not give a flying. This shit was so freaking cool. And then I have to remind myself that she's no longer Mei Ying. Let me throw this up here. I'm going to have to add another overlay. Oh, God, this is crazy. This shit was so awesome, bro. Where is it? All right, got the image. And I don't know why WWE ever went away from this, but this is like right before they went to NXT 2.0, and it pissed me off so much that they did because I love this gimmick, bro. I got to show you. That's why I'm trying to put it up on the screen.
Yeah. I'm waiting on it, man. Because I can't remember. I don't recall. You know what I mean?
Let's see.
Wendy Chu. Is that what it was?
Wendy Chu is like her newest gimmick. She's the one with the sleepy like pajamas.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to find this image. There was a specific one that I'm looking for that I remember I always used to say, damn, this shit's hard.
I thought when they introduced her as Wendy Chu, that was the first time we had ever seen her.
No, man. Karen Q was like really dope in the indies. She was like in Beyond Wrestling, Rise.
No way.
She was in Ring of Honor. At one point, she even did Impact, I think.
No. No way.
That was some really cool stuff. Okay, I found the image. I found the one that's fire as hell.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Because then we do have to move on. So this is an image right here.
Whoa.
That was Mei Ying, aka Karen Q, aka Wendy Chu. Now let me show you guys a picture of Boa with the face paint. Because, well, actually, I don't know if he even had face paint. This is actually, I found an image right here. This was before the face paint. So let me hide that.
Some interesting stuff. You are a little got a historian over here.
And Boa
was
like
one.
her sidekick. Yeah,
yes,
right there.
Yes, this I kind of remember.
So Boa was backstage throughout these last few weeks doing like these segments where he's walking, and now he's brought in Dante Chen, who was pretty much like a NXT level up guy.
Yeah,
he's kind of been used as a jobber, but now they're showing
they're
them
gonna
coming
bring him
together
on kind of a little bit more.
So again, it's like the cool little backstage stuff.
It's what Triple H is known for.
Triple H and Shawn Michaels be doing that so well. And they actually did it again tonight too with when Lyra Valkyria was talking, doing an interview.
Over
it
in
showed
the back.
Tatum Paxley as well. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Carson, Nathan, hopefully I answered your question. I'm sorry I took too much. Hopefully I didn't take too much time on that. I get a little obsessive.
I'm glad we got the pictures.
I get a little obsessive with these things because I know sometimes I remember all these things.
Yeah.
And not everybody knows. So the fact that they don't know, I feel bad that I'm like referencing it. And then that's why I'm trying to show people. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, I'm just happy I got to learn a little bit today.
Yeah. So next thing you know, while we're doing all that, we got a super chat. So $4.99 from Dan Moser. Shout out to you, Dan. Thank you. He says, Ingo, I could see Carmelo Hayes go to the main roster and join Bobby Lashley's group. Maybe even Trick Williams as well. I'd prefer that it doesn't happen.
It's a safe option, though.
I don't think it should happen. I know it's been rumored for a while that it was something that was potentially going to happen. I don't like the idea of it happening. Street Profits, Bobby Lashley need to get over. They're going to be bringing Odyssey Jones into that group anyways. I don't need Carmelo Hayes to be part of a faction. I think Carmelo Hayes is a future WrestleMania main eventer. The fact that I think he's a future WrestleMania main eventer tells me that in order for him to really get there, he should start off with a bang as a singles guy. And I'm actually going to throw this out there as a suggestion. And I'm not saying this is good booking or whatever, but let's just say Carmelo goes up main roster by himself. I would actually much rather see Carmelo, and maybe they hold off on the call up too. So this only works if he's getting called up for WrestleMania. But I would do some sort of program with John Cena and have him retire John Cena.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well,
like 100%.
You think that's the guy?
100%.
Really?
I view Carmelo Hayes as like, I look at him and Braun Breaker just like how I would look at John Cena and Randy Orton and those guys.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
I don't want to see them like they are the future.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no doubt in my mind.
I know Carmelo Hayes. I feel confidently saying Carmelo Hayes is.
Oh, he's going to be good.
Yeah.
He's going to be really, really good.
People are going to attach on to him very quickly.
Yeah. Dan, thank you for the super chat. I feel like I'm not sure, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I typically remember a lot of the names that drop super chats. So Richard and Dan, I don't know if you guys ever left super chats before. Normally it tells you if it's a first time thing or not. But anyways, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. A lot of comments coming in. I did want to talk about this too. Chester, my boy, what's up, brother? Chester said Nikita Lyons was in the crowd tonight at NXT. She will be back soon. Billy looks incredibly happy. Billy, why do you look so happy right now about Nikita Lyons?
Don't worry about it.
Come on, you want to tell me what's going on? Or
no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I'm happy too, and I mean for very obvious reasons. Look, man, she's a great talent. She's definitely missed. They've been kind of updating people with her health and like being back and coming back from injury. The thing is, man, I think Nikita's great talent, and I guess she's definitely missed. And yeah, what else is there to really say about that? So yeah, she was in the crowd tonight, and again,
Excited
she's
for her to
been
come back.
missed. Yeah, should be
Super.
good. Should be good.
100%.
Should be good. I do think at some point they're going to put the belt on her. I think WWE is very.
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell they're high on her, especially now.
They've wanted to, I think, for a while. Then the injury
Yeah.
stuff happened, and
Right.
stuff like that. So
She looks good, man.
we know. Anyways, keeping it moving. Richard Martinez dropping another super chat for $2. He says, "I think Cody retires Cena or Randy." It's interesting. It is interesting.
That's a very interesting one.
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. Randy is wrestling for like the next 10 years. So that's what he said at
Yeah, he
Survivor
put the little
Series.
pen up.
Yeah, he did that. So I don't know what the hell they're going to do there. Me personally, I would have zero problem with Cody retiring Cena. But if that's the case, Cody's got to finish the story first.
Yeah.
For sure he has to.
Now, my thought's a little bit different, actually. I don't think Cody needs to do it.
Do what? Finish the story?
No, I don't think he needs to retire Cena.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you don't think he needs to finish the story, I was just getting ready to boot you off the stream.
Yeah, no.
I swear I'm not even bullshitting you.
We agree on that one. We agree.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to.
No, I don't think he needs it,
They should have the match.
Oh, 100%. I think you do Cody and Cena, just like a passing the torch type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
WrestleMania 41.
I think you can get away, do that perfectly. You know what I'm saying? WrestleMania 41's a little steep. I think we do it at like a SummerSlam or something.
Well, I don't know. That's too much into the future.
Yeah.
Richard, shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat again. We got a couple more. Justin Kennington dropping a 5-bomb. My final 4 in the Rumble this year is Gunther, Solo, Punk, and Orton. What is yours? Well, actually, I'm glad you brought this up on an NXT stream because I believe that there will be an NXT talent in the final 4 of the Rumble. I believe it is Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker is going to be in the Rumble. I fully believe that Braun Breaker is going to lose in the Iron Survivor Challenge. And for that reason, I think that's going to be his way out. He's not even going to have to get pinned or whatever. Like, he's not going to have to look weak in that type of match type. So for that reason, I would actually have Gunther, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Braun Breaker, the winner of that match, CM Punk. Am I cooking, chat? Am I cooking? I need to know.
I think you're cooking. You think, okay, I'm going to ask you this. You think that they're going to come in and they're going to let Punk win that Royal Rumble right away?
100%.
Really?
100%.
So your thoughts is that he's going to face Seth at Mania. I'm seeing a lot of people, and I'm not saying that this is my personal opinion. I'm just saying I see a lot of people saying that they think that Punk and Rollins, because we have like a 2-month build or month and a half, whatever.
You don't build fucking Rollins right off the rip.
You don't think so?
Yesterday they planted the seed. That's not his first feud.
No.
Okay. They planted the seed because that's what WWE does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to plant
the seed. Bro, it is so simple to see WWE strategy. The IWC is the most impatient group of people. That's why I love it. WWE's trolling you. They're like literally trolling you. They tell you like, oh, here's the seed. It's being planted.
Right.
Now wait and watch it blossom into this beautiful flower. All you got to do is watch every single week, 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours. Next thing you know, you've watched 2,000 hours of WWE Raw and you got the payoff. It's simple as that, bro. They planted the seed. I don't think it's going to be the first program. I don't think it should be the first program. Okay. I think Punk should definitely not be doing a first program with Seth Rollins. I think he needs to do something light. It could be anybody. It doesn't even matter. He could just wrestle a couple of series of matches, go to the Rumble. Then the minute that he wins the Rumble, you plant another seed for him and Rollins, and he just flat out challenges Rollins.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
And then the cool thing is Cody Rhodes can lose the Rumble. And the best part about that is Braun Breaker and Gunther could look good as well. Right. Cody could go on to Elimination Chamber, win the Chamber, challenge Roman Reigns, and there you go. It's gold. It's easy, simple as that. There's no complaints.
Right.
Justin, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, bro. We got a new member. The Script Keeper has become a new channel member. So I do appreciate that. Shout out to you, level 2 member. Guys, if you want to become a member, just go ahead and click on that little icon that says join. You get free emotes. If you guys aren't using the emotes, drop them. Look, I'm going to throw them in the chat, actually. Look at these things. We got new emotes in here. Look, I'll even throw it up on the screen, actually. Yeah. Hold on. Now I'm messing around too much on the screen. There we go. Oh, nice. I try to throw it up on the screen and StreamYard doesn't even read the emojis.
No, nice.
But you guys can see it in the chat. You know what I'm talking about. But shout out to both of you. Script Keeper, shout out to you, Justin, for the super chat. We got a couple more. Richard Martinez dropping another one for $2. I think Sammy wins Rumble. Gunther comes around.
Sammy winning the Rumbles. Oh,
I have zero problem with that.
Yeah.
There's literally not one bad decision they can make for this.
I think you and I have had this conversation before, to where it's like you have so many guys that you just can't go wrong with.
Yeah. That's literally one of the most beautiful things about WWE right now, because in the past it's like they weren't really having too many people available for these big moments. Thank the Lord that's not the case this time. Sami Zayn winning the Rumble could be really cool. I don't know how they go about that. I would actually much rather see Sami Zayn win Money in the Bank next year.
That's okay.
Personally speaking, that's just like on a personal level. But if they gave Sami Zayn the Rumble, I would never be pissed off. The one thing I will say is, if Sammy wins the Royal Rumble and goes to WrestleMania and wins the World Heavyweight Championship, I would be ecstatic for this guy, because we saw him do the Johnny Knoxville stuff. Incredible match. We see him doing main event WrestleMania for tag team championships. Incredible match. This guy knocks everything out of the park.
He's amazing.
I feel like at some point he's going to be a world heavyweight champion.
100%.
So that's more than likely going to happen at some point.
And now he's starting to talk about it.
Which it's on purpose, right?
Yeah.
Jey Uso's getting a world heavyweight championship. Drew McIntyre wants it. Everybody wants to be the world heavyweight championship. And I'm going to say something.
Go ahead.
AEW was doing that with MJF, right? Samoa Joe, and everybody wants to be the world fucking champion. Like, no shit, Sherlock, you want to be the world champion. It's the top prize, right? For some reason in pro wrestling, there's like these weird times where, like, it doesn't matter the company. It's like people don't care to become the world champion sometimes.
Yeah.
That's not the way it feels right now with AEW and WWE. It seems like in both companies, everybody wants to be the world heavyweight champion. I love that.
Yeah.
So I'm very cool about that.
They made that second belt feel really important really fast.
Imagine if he dropped it soon too.
Yeah.
It would have been bad.
Right.
So shout out to Richard Martinez for another super chat. We got another one from Dan Moser again, $1.99. What would you think of Braun retiring John Cena?
Wouldn't be mad at
it. You know, Braun Breaker is going to be a massive star in WWE. I don't know if that's going to be as a babyface, because I feel like his heel work is so incredible. But if they go that route, I wouldn't be mad about it.
I wouldn't either. I would not either, actually. I don't think we've said it, dude. There's so many guys that you can just not go wrong with right now, whether that be in developmental on the main roster. I mean, it's actually insane when you actually look at the depth of these rosters. It's insane.
Well, yeah, they got the depth, and I think the big thing too is, like, with Cena, people kind of forget this part about Cena, but Cena's on like a 10 million match losing streak.
Yeah.
So at this point, like,
the person who does retire him is going to be important, though.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. The problem is he went Hollywood, so I don't know when the hell he actually retires, or if he ever actually retires.
Retires, right? Yeah.
So that's an interesting point. Dan, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. This is not a super chat, but Myra is an OG on the channel. Myra says a Friday live stream. Eyes. Well, duh. I told you we back, baby. We back.
That boy ain't been back. It's nice
back.
seeing him working.
Dude, you know, it was so funny because I was watching NXT today and I'm kind of tired, bro. Moving and like doing all this stuff. It's just a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But like, I've actually been enjoying wrestling a lot more. So
it's easier to talk about when it's more fun.
And I'm just more peaceful and more relaxed, bro. That's like, I'm just chilling and watching it, and like,
dude. That is the best.
Which I think will make live streams a lot more fun. How do you guys feel about this? You know, we kind of want to test this out with Billy. Just kind of wanted to try something different and have conversations and bullshit and have a good time. And some more super chats came in. Wow. Okay, I missed these. Richard dropped a couple more. Richard said, I think Sammy faces Drew at Mania.
So do I.
I'm all for it. They kind of planted a seed yesterday. They announced next week on Raw they're going to be wrestling. I'm cool with that.
I think
For
you
sure.
can get a good story out of that.
They just got to bring back Broken Dreams for Drew, and they can literally do anything with Drew. But as long as they bring back that song, I'm so happy with that.
Yeah, I agree. Very good song.
That's what I want. That's just my opinion.
Me too.
That's just my opinion. Richard dropped another super chat. He said Seth versus Punk will main event non-title.
Yeah, I think
that's ballsy though.
That's ballsy.
I don't think it needs a title, but it can't main event without the title.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is you can't have it main event without that title. I think that title, I think it represents the whole thing with Punk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The brass ring, all of that. I think that title, and if you really want to make that title quote unquote prestige, that's really how you do it.
Yeah, the title's got a main event.
100%.
It has to. It has to main event. If it doesn't main event, I feel like it's a little bit of a problem. Truth be told, when I look at Seth and CM Punk, like I kind of look at them in the sense of like Baron Corbin and Ilya Dragunov from NXT. And this sounds crazy, but bear with me. You're looking at two guys where whoever wins, I think people will be pretty happy with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If Seth were to beat CM Punk, I don't think people would be pissed.
No, it'd be a huge deal.
I think it would be massive. The only thing is if it's headlining a WrestleMania and it doesn't have a title on the line, and it could happen without the title, but if it was main eventing, that makes the world title feel like it's nothing after all this work that they've done. I don't think Triple H is a dumbass, so I don't think that's a concern. Who knows, bro? Who knows, bro? Who knows? I don't know. You never know. Vince McMahon's a smart guy who turned this wrestling business into an empire, and for some reason he had dog shit all over fucking Roman Reigns' face. Or whatever it was, pet food, dog shit. I don't know. I can't remember.
It was dog shit.
Yeah. No, the big dog.
Yeah, the big dog. Yeah, CM Punk trashed that on backstage.
Which is so funny because now he's back in the company.
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious.
Richard, thank you again for the super chat. I appreciate it, guys. We got another one from Richard. God. Richard says, Rhea, Becky main event night 1, Cody Roman night 2.
You can't do it without Punk.
No, hold on. Shut up, Billy. Shut up. Shut up. No, I'm kidding. Rhea and Becky could main event if Seth and Punk doesn't have the title on the line. Well, actually, no. Seth and Punk could technically open up WrestleMania. Because it's a women's world championship, so it's not like it's a mid-card belt or the women's, like it's not like it's a secondary title. It's the women's main belt. I would have no problem with that.
I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna let everybody know my opinion is a very biased opinion. I'm a big Punk fan, but I do think that Rhea and Becky, realistically, I think you could do that as a main event. I think if you want to do one main event being the women and the other being Roman and Cody, I do think that realistically that could work. Just my biased opinion says, put Punk in the main event. He deserves it.
Punk is you're a massive Punk fan, and I know. I know your biasness for that reason, and that particular. And we don't have to talk about it, obviously. But I get it. Like I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
But I definitely think that right there, it could easily main event a night 1.
So here's the thing: I'm a big believer in that. Whatever matches main event have to be the best stories.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah.
So if the World Heavyweight Championship or Cody Rhodes and Roman doesn't have a good story going into the match, then fuck off with that shit.
Yeah.
Like I am one of those believers. I do not believe, like, if it doesn't have a good story, like the tag team stuff last year was incredible because the storyline, or this year, I should say.
Yeah.
So matches that main event should have a really, really good story. I wouldn't mind Rhea versus Becky main eventing. I wouldn't mind the 4 horsewomen main eventing for a title. There's always a way to get there. You got to factor in
story to get there.
Yeah, everything's got to have a good story. I think if you're the WWE and you want the women to main event, there's a lot of things they can do with storylines, because right now their women's division is actually good in terms of like booking and stuff. Rhea and Becky is definitely worthy of a main event.
I also think there's a lot of intrigue because Sasha Banks might come back. And I do believe if Sasha Banks comes back, and let me know how you feel. Obviously, we got to see how Jade Cargill is doing in development, but like have Jade wrestle Rhea in a regular, championship match.
Yep.
Then you have, and that's for like the women's world championship. Then at some point, Io Sky drops the championship belt and she's going to drop it to one of the 4 horsewomen. It could be Charlotte. It could be Bayley. It could be Becky. It could be anyone. I don't care. It could be Sasha. But if Sasha Banks comes back, I would hope that Triple H is smart enough to say 4 horsewomen main event for the women's championship.
Right.
That's a marquee match. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think that is one good thing about WrestleMania 40 this year, or technically next year.
Right.
Going into WrestleMania season, I really don't see any issues with what they choose to main event or how they choose to go about it. Like, again, we were talking about like anybody could really win the Royal Rumble. It's not a big deal. It's going to be good.
Right.
I feel like that's kind of the same way when it comes to those main events, personally speaking.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Thank you, Richard, for the super chat. We got a super chat from the Script Keeper. He says, Ango, you missed my 9-month milestone chat. Let me scroll up. The chat is going so fast, guys. I'm trying my best. I'm sorry. You just gave me $2 to tell me that I missed your 9-month milestone chat.
That's awesome.
And here it is. I found it. Ango, great to see you back doing live streams. I'm excited to see what's next for your channel. Buddy, get ready. We're going into some crazy stuff. And I have such a big announcement. I just can't talk about it yet.
Like I'm cooking.
I'm cooking, bro. I'm cooking. I got something cooking with another individual who is not in this live stream.
That man cooking.
I can't talk about it. But the Script Keeper, I appreciate the support. Trust me, I'm not gonna let you guys down. You're gonna love it. Got some really, really cool stuff happening. I'm super excited about it, and I really just can't wait. So thank you for the super chat, and thank you for being a member for 9 months. I do appreciate that, bro.
That's awesome.
Richard dropped another super chat. If it's Sammy and Drew for the World Heavyweight Championship, does Rhea and Becky main? I only think they main event if the build is worthy of a main event.
That's it.
Which, by the way, they're going to slap. That match is going to bang. Like,
yeah, the match
crazy.
Itself is going to be amazing.
It's going to be a really good match. So
yeah.
It just depends if the storyline's there. I don't know if the storyline's there. Hopefully it is. But if it's not, I don't want to see anything just main event. WWE should hopefully be past the point of like just doing shit for PR now. Like they have a good enough women's division. They have a good enough men's roster. They have
their roster is insane. They're good.
Their roster's stacked. It's people say the 2008 roster stacked. Dog, this shit kills the 2008 roster.
I mean, completely blows it out of the water.
So yeah, me personally, I don't care what main events. Just have whatever has the best build has to have. It's gonna be the most impactful thing. Especially this is the first main event. Like, or not even the first main event. It's the first WrestleMania, like fully under the TKO era.
Yep.
Triple H, like Billy, we were talking about this. Triple H killed night 1. Vince McMahon, like actually, like butchered night 2.
Yeah, night 2.
In comparison,
horrible.
It wasn't bad. It was just in comparison,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it was just, imagine what Triple H does with 2 nights and NXT call ups and all this stuff. You know,
Stand and Deliver is going to be amazing.
Oh, I can't wait. I love Stand and Deliver.
So do I.
It's so weird. It's everybody knows on this channel we make a really, really big deal out of WrestleMania week.
Yeah.
But Stand and Deliver is probably that day is the most insane thing because it's like Stand and Deliver is at 11 a.m.
Like 2 hours in between after.
And then you got WrestleMania. And it's like, bro, I literally have like 15 videos that go out in one day. Like my channel breaks YouTube because it's like it doesn't even know how to send things to the sub box and stuff at that point.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. But yeah, as long as it has a great build, I'm down for any match. I really don't care.
I agree.
I think Rhea and Becky, in terms of drawing power, definitely have the ability to main event though.
Rhea Ripley herself definitely does.
Yeah,
her popularity is insane.
Exactly. Another super chat from Justin Kennington for $2. Sasha and AJ Lee return at the Rumble.
We got a little shot at AJ yesterday.
Huh?
I said Punk when he talked about AJ yesterday for a little bit.
I mean,
yeah, maybe
if she comes back, that's gonna be massive. I don't think she will, but I'm gonna try to speak it into existence. That's for sure.
I like that. But what about Sasha?
I think Sasha comes back.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't know when, but we haven't seen the last of her in WWE
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
I agree.
But I will say, AJ Lee, Roxanne Perez, they're like twins.
They are.
Honestly, a lot of inspiration from AJ Lee to Roxanne. You know, I'm just saying, you want to build stars. I have zero problem with them going from NXT, getting called up, going to the main roster, and getting those big time feuds for WrestleMania. That's how you get women's singles matches on Mania without a title.
Yep. Yep.
You know, they always bring legends back for the men's division,
Mm-hmm.
and they do it sometimes. They sometimes do it with the women, but for WrestleMania, you know, AJ Lee would be massive, and you have her in a singles match with somebody from NXT or somebody who's recently called up to the main roster. That could be pretty.
Yeah, I think the Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark thing just not too long ago that felt important.
Yeah. Exactly. Another super chat from Richard, $2. If no Roman at Elimination Chamber, can you see Rhea versus Liv main event? Liv Morgan?
That's
Where is she at, bro? She's injured. I know that. Like, but where is she actually at?
Is she injured?
Yeah, she was injured.
She hasn't been on TV.
No, she hasn't been on.
Can you see Rhea and Liv main eventing at Elimination Chamber?
You know what, though? Rhea Ripley is from Australia. Hometown.
Yeah. I think you're going to see like Grayson Waller there.
Oh, for sure. Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
You know,
that's actually...
that crowd's going to be insane.
It is. But maybe not Liv Morgan.
But who else? It has to be someone that could eat the loss, though, because Rhea's probably going to WrestleMania as champion.
Exactly. That's the thing, is it really does have to be some...
And I don't want Liv to lose, bro.
I don't either.
You know what would be cool? And I'm just saying this genuinely, like I genuinely believe this.
What's that?
It would be nice. They're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
But Xia Li's kind of been getting like a little bit of a push. I don't want her to lose such a big time matchup.
I'm about to just start speaking my mind because that's who I was going to say.
Yeah, I feel like that could be like, hey, you know what? You're trying to get her over.
Right.
Put her in there. Let them wrestle. I don't know. I don't know what else I could think of.
And don't let it be one of those matches that it's like a one-off type thing, you know? When I say one-off, you can have it be a one-off for that moment.
Yeah.
You can return to it later.
It just sucks because I see Liv Morgan as somebody who's awesome. I see Xia Li as somebody who's awesome. And I don't want them to necessarily eat the pin.
Right. But sometimes
I just can't think.
Sometimes you have
to. No, Billy. Sometimes you don't have to. See, that's the good thing about, because with wrestling, see, the thing is, you're doing booking based on who you want to build as a star. So why would you ever try to put a star that you're building up in a situation where they got to lose? See, it doesn't like the thing is like Natalya is the veteran, right? Yeah. Natalya could take the loss. Yes, I'm sure Natalya wants to win. I would love for Natalya to get at least one reign before she retires. Right. Look at all she's done for the women's division.
100%.
But she could eat the pin. You know, there's newer people from NXT getting called up. Those matches where they lose, I feel like it kind of hurts them a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, you know what? Maybe WWE has Nia Jax in that position. Nia Jax could take the pin.
Right.
You know, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Like, I love Liv Morgan. I love a lot of these people on the roster. I think their roster is so sick. I don't want to see any of them fucking lose, bro.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're a nice guy.
Listen, win or loss, it doesn't matter as long as they're all having fun.
Right.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm just saying, as long as they're having fun. Richard, thank you for the super chat, bro. Appreciate it. If anybody wants to drop a super chat before we call it a night, go ahead and do so now. It's almost 12 o'clock, so we'll want to wrap it up. Obviously, while we wait for those to come in, if any of them are coming in, I just kind of want to say thank you guys, obviously, for stopping by. Overall, man, I enjoyed NXT. I think I pretty much made it very clear where my gripe is with the show.
Yeah.
But overall, like booking and wrestling matches tonight, everything's cool. I don't know. What are your like some of your final thoughts? Let me ask you, because in the beginning I kind of told everybody it's like you don't watch NXT all the time.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to. You won't bullshit. Don't bullshit me.
Don't put shit in my mouth.
I know you won't.
Don't put shit
You're
in my
too
mouth.
busy, bro. No, you're too busy, bro. You got your own YouTube channel that
Yes,
you're working on.
I do.
So like you talk about rap and like pop culture and stuff. That stuff is like wrestling. There's always something happening.
There is. It is very important. It is very important.
You might watch it on DVR and stuff like that.
That's my thing. Is I do believe that I will just number one. I enjoy right now. I found enjoyment out of Baron Corbin and Ilya.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I really want to tune in to see what's gonna happen next with that. Like, I genuinely did find that interesting.
Yeah.
Right. I love Wesley. I didn't get to talk about that much. I love Wesley.
Yeah.
I've liked Wesley back from the MSK, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm interested in as well. Am I gonna be a religious watcher? I mean, you know, like you say, DVR exists, you know.
Yeah.
Those Wednesday mornings, I'm not so busy, you know.
Yeah.
Sit down and watch them, you know.
Yeah. I get it. It's different. Like for me, I watch everything live because obviously, but
yeah.
The cool thing I like about you though is that you actually like pay attention to what's happening in wrestling.
Yeah.
You're just not constantly watching it live every single week, but
no, I'm always on social media scrolling through, seeing what's happening.
Yeah.
That is my thing.
It was just interesting. That's why, you know, having you on today.
I really do appreciate you having me on too.
No, man, it's nothing. I like to talk about wrestling, and you know, it's fun. Bro.
It's fun, dude.
It's fun. And I think that's the cool thing is like, you know, it's like part of these conversations are to have conversations with people where like, I know for you, you're not a religious watcher of NXT. I know for you, you actually kind of took a step back from wrestling for a little bit because of AEW kind of letting you down and not really being the best promotion that you typically would enjoy.
100%.
And obviously, I know you pay attention to WWE, and then CM Punk came back. But knowing these things, I'm like, you know what? Let me get like your honest feedback on it. And
I'll tell you what, in the middle of doing this, I started to feel myself pick back up into the wrestling bubble.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. I do think a lot of people are actually like you in the sense that you don't get the full effect unless you watch it.
Right.
So a lot of people are sitting there on Twitter and they're scrolling
really
like, well, WWE sucks or AEW sucks. And then the reality is, unfortunately, you're not watching it. You're just seeing what's on paper.
Moment that you thought sucked.
Exactly. So I appreciate that, my friend. We got a new member. Mama Scripps became a YouTube member. The Script Keeper and Mama Scripps.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
Is this your cousins? Sisters? Is this your mother?
Who is this?
I don't know. But I appreciate it. I love it every time we get new members. I didn't see a lot of people using the new emotes on the chat, though. So make sure you guys are using them. When you're a member on this channel, you get access to those cool emotes. And it makes me happy just to see the chat pretty much get spammed by them. I don't know. It's just the way it is. But
all the emotes everywhere.
I do appreciate that. And we did get another super chat.
Let's go.
This time, again, from Richard Martinez.
This guy's on a roll.
What are your thoughts if Jack Perry's the devil? Don't fucking ask me these questions, bro. Don't ask me these questions. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I am one of these people, like literally we're just talking about like the Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes and Lexus King thing, right? It doesn't take much to satisfy me. Who did it? Who is it? I like reveals. I like when things are fun and interesting and intriguing. What I don't like is, and I'm just being completely honest here, Jack Perry is good. I like Jack Perry. I really do like Jack Perry. I do not like Jack Perry as a heel. I think he works a lot better as a babyface. I think he is a 4-pillar because of how great he was as a babyface. I really miss him and Luchasaurus together. That was a big blunder by the company.
I mean,
they should have kept them together. That's my opinion. I miss those days. If Jack Perry's the devil, I'll keep watching. But, you know, getting in a fight with CM Punk backstage only to come back and be revealed as the devil, it's a very interesting way to come back from a suspension. But, hey, if it's him, whatever. At this point, I've watched enough WWE storylines to see bad reveals to the point where, like, nothing actually legitimately shocks me anymore. So if it's Jack
So-
Perry, it's whatever.
So
But
Jack Perry's a bad reveal in your eyes.
I do think it is. I genuinely do. I would rather see Adam Cole. People think predictable is bad, but it's not, because at the end of the day, it's a fucking TV show. We're predicting shit every single day. If it's Adam Cole, Britt Baker, I love it. If it's MJF himself, I love it. If it's Tony Khan, I fucking love it. I would love.
I'll lose my mind.
I will love. Tony Khan has the charisma of like literally paint drying on the wall.
100%.
But I say that in such a great way because Tony Khan literally still puts himself out there on TV, and this dude is like,
Dude, he's
listen,
just happy to be there.
he's happy. He's an actual fan, bro.
Yeah.
He loves this shit. So the thing is, I say that respectfully. Like, I actually think Tony Khan is great, but at the end of the day, him being to be an on-screen character, like, people don't get this. Tony Khan could go and talk to like Tony Schiavone on TV. I don't give a fuck if his promo is good, because guess what? He's not a wrestler. He's not an entertainer. He's just a billionaire guy that does this shit. Again, it's just real and authentic. He doesn't have to muster up his voice and like, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if Tony Khan was the devil, it'd be kind of freaking awesome.
Dude, that'd be cool.
It's just something I would fuck with heavily. But
Yeah.
I gotta say that, like, very, very truthfully, Tony Khan does not have the charisma for the role.
No.
And whoever the devil is, it has to be somebody who is really good at like owning the crowd, because that reveal is going to be insane. Now, what they could do with Jack Perry is not actually be the devil himself, but he could be part of that group that's been attacking people. I'd be okay with that. But whoever is the devil needs to be like the greatest talker, mouthpiece, personality.
It needs to be a good reveal.
Yeah, it just needs to be good because I actually like the storyline.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Richard again for the super chat. I appreciate it. Very good question. And I think that leaves us, I think that's it. I think everybody got in those super chats. I see a whole bunch of fuck around and find out emotes being used. Love it. I love that one. Mama Scripps dropping the fire emote. Todd Crow dropping the Ango 316.
There it is. That's the one I was waiting for.
Ango 316. Give me a hell yeah.
Fucking, can we shatter glass?
No, I can't.
Dang.
I should program that though.
You should.
This happens every time I stream. Every time. We got another super chat from Richard. What if AOP debuts with Karrion Kross?
Hard. That's hard.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think AOP is going to NXT, but I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Karrion Kross.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you know, the Albanian Psycho is also a friend of the channel. We've had him on the channel as well. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. I love AOP. Those guys were awesome. They put him with Karrion Kross. That could be interesting. Karrion Kross is expected for a major push, so
yeah, he needs it.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Somebody said, thank you, Richard, again for the super chat. Somebody said Travis says Billy is still the devil.
Yeah, you're right. How'd you know,
devil, bro?
How'd you know?
That's crazy. Now Cedric's spamming the chat. Look at this shit.
I can't. Oh, there's the 316. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys are the best. I love it.
Yeah, dude.
All right, my friends, we're gonna call it a night. Listen, you know, I'm thinking I wasn't going to do AEW Dynamite, but I've been enjoying AEW a little bit lately. Maybe hell has truly frozen over. CM Punk is back in the WWE, taking pictures with Triple H, and I'm down to review AEW again. I don't know. You guys got to let me know in the chat. You guys want me to talk Dynamite? Maybe I'll bring Billy back.
I say do it.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I got to sleep on it, you know, for sure. But I appreciate everybody coming through. Very fun stream, actually. I actually really enjoyed this. So oh my God.
No way.
Richard, if Barry is a devil, who are the four other men? The kingdom. Oh shit. I'm just being honest. I think it's the kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, so do I. But
listen, bro. No, go ahead. Y'all trolling me now at this point,
They
bro.
might
This
be,
happens.
bro. They
Billy,
might be.
listen. Let me just tell you a little story. We were doing WrestleMania stream.
Okay.
Every year actually at this point it's kind of happened. The stream might go an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. You know,
Yeah.
there's so many different streams because it's like Raw, NXT, Dynamite,
Yeah.
Impact, ROH, New Japan for Thursday, Friday SmackDown, Saturday was like Stand and Deliver,
Right.
WrestleMania, then WrestleMania Night 2. ROH had a pay-per-view. Bro, we were doing these pay-per-view streams, and like literally I'd be like, all right, guys, like stream's over.
Yeah.
And I would get massive amount of super chats right after. I would feel bad, bro. I would feel bad because I couldn't read them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then literally I was just like telling people, I'm like, all right, guys, we're gonna end the stream at this time. Make sure you get them in beforehand.
Might want to start doing that, pal.
Billy. Nobody left a super chat, which is fine. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
And then literally 30 seconds before we're ending the stream, there's like 20 super chats.
Okay. So this is something that your chat does.
Yeah, I guess so. It's, you know, they just like to mess with me, which is cool.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, it is what it is.
I always appreciate the super chats. But Richard, hopefully I answered your question. If Perry is the devil, who are the four men? My vote is the kingdom. Billy, thoughts?
I agree. The kingdom.
Cool.
Yeah.
Next super chat, Justin, for $1.99. Hell is frozen over. Yeah, maybe I'll be back tomorrow. I think it could be fun, actually. Honestly, I've just been enjoying wrestling a lot lately.
Yeah, it's fun right now,
and it's really fun. And even Dynamite still has some things I fucking absolutely hate, but there's a lot of things I do like. So
yeah.
What else? There's another one I see. Albert Pons. I had a feeling Albert would do this to me. Albert Pons dropped the $2 one. Pretty Peter is the devil. Bro, I love Peter Avalon.
Is he still reading the book somewhere?
I don't know what the hell he's doing anymore. I really don't.
Pretty Peter. It's Skip Sabian.
Stop, bro. What is wrong with these guys, bro? No, man. What's wrong with you?
Bro, I'm being honest.
Dixie Carter's backstage at WWE. Pretty Peter's the devil.
So I'm crazy for saying Kip Sabian's it?
Stop, bro. Tony Khan's done some dumb shit in the past with his booking, but like that just sounds even worse. All right, guys.
Now they're trolling.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, this is all troll now.
When the devil gets revealed, you guys will see that. My reaction is going to be great, depending on who it is. But yeah, I think that's the perfect time to call it a night.
All right.
Cool. Thank you, everybody who stopped by. I appreciate it all so very much greatly. Billy.
Yo.
Appreciate you coming through too, bro.
I appreciate you having me, man.
And yeah, we'll figure it out. We should do more of these.
Awesome.
We'll figure it out. So with that being said, my friends, thank you for joining us for the Angle Show. Thank you to everybody who dropped a super chat, became a member, or even, bro, hold on.
No way.
I'm not gonna say anything. It's not a super chat.
Okay.
Don't even say anything. Y'all playing too much. Okay. This is a professional live stream. I am trying to conduct myself professionally. Fun stuff. 100%. With that being said, guys, I appreciate it. Billy does content on YouTube at the Rap Report. If you guys like pop culture and rap and stuff like that, he talks about all the stuff that's happening over there, and it's cool stuff. So make sure you guys check that out. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time.